24th of July, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Oh, got it. Bill's coming right in. Okay. Let's see where we got up to. Have any idea? That was kindness. Good morning, Phil. Shvut Tov.
Shvut Tov.
Okay, good. We're all here. Just figure out. What's that?
I'm going to mute because there's background noise. I don't know if you hear it, but if I have to say something, I will.
Okay. Very good. Let's see. Trying to figure out where we got up to, as usual. Last thing I have marked off is where we got up to on the tinus. That was yes, that was last Yom Rishon. Oh yeah, we did the brisa machlif para b'chamor. Machlokas Rabbi Meir Chachamim. I think finished that finished the long Rashi Machlif Para and also Yeshava HaMocher. Oh, and then we had the question. Whose question? I don't remember whether we answered that or we didn't answer it. But at any rate, I think we finished that section. Oh, Roy's trying to get in. Okay. So I think we got up to Hi Halacha Rabbi Meir. Gemora asks, Halacha Karabonin mi boile. I think that was one of the questions that Lou asked as well. Okay, so this can be found. We're still in the middle of this section over here, analyzing this statement that we have that Rav said the halacha follows Rabbi Meir. And now the Gemora is saying, after everything that we said, it's not really Rabbi Meir, it's really the Chachamim.
You're in 96 B5, left column, the new paragraph.
Oh, okay, good.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so that's what the Gemara's question is right now. So Roy, you want to start? Hi halacha Rabbi Meir.
Hi halacha b'Rav Rabbi Meir. If so, that Rav reverses the opinion stated in the Mishnah, then this statement of his, that the halacha according to Rabbi Meir, is incorrect. Halacha b'Rabbana may
Yeah.
The Rav should have said the halacha accords with the rabbis.
Right. Why did he say the halacha is like Rabbi Meir?
All right, so the Gemara answers. Eichi.
Yeah.
Eichi ka'amar. This is what the Rav is saying. Lemay da'apakiso, hapakiso, v'sonisu, according to you, who interchange the positions of Reb Meir and the rabbis when you teach your Mishnaic text, halacha Rabbi Meir. The halacha accords with Rabbi Meir.
Right. That's what we also said. We said that the Rab says halacha is like Rabbi Meir. He means the view that's stated by Rabbi Meir in the Mishnah, which is actually the view of the Chachamim. But he says the halacha is like Rabbi Meir because that's the way that we have our tradition that the Mishnah reads.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we've been saying for the last week and maybe more. So we have some,
So, this is how we say that the halacha accords with Rabbi Meir.
this
And
is, yeah, this is
both-
what we mean. We don't really mean the halacha follows Rabbi Meir against the Chachamim. We mean to say that the view that our tradition of the Mishnah, how the Mishnah is recorded, according to that tradition that the Mishnah is recorded, the view that's attributed to Rabbi Meir, that's the view that Rav says the halacha follows, which what we've been saying all along, what that really means is that that view is actually the view of the Chachamim. But the opinions were switched around somehow. And they were recorded in the Mishnah in the opposite way. So without getting into a whole discussion about how that could have happened, we're not going to get into that. But we're saying is that the halacha, right? In other words, let's go back and look in the Mishnah and see what it is that we're talking about. That would be a good idea, I think. That'll be a good review.
Now I've got to find the Mishnah.
Now, okay, so the Mishnah is found on Sadi Vav Amid Beis, 96b. It's about
Halfway down.
halfway down.
All right.
Mishnah says, Gezel behema v'hiskina, avodim v'hiskina. If an animal or a slave is stolen, v'hiskinu, and then it gets old. So now the Goslin, what does he got to do? Does he have to return the animal itself? Does he have to return the slave itself? Or no, that won't be good enough. What he's got to do is pay according to what the animal or the Eved, the slave, was worth at the time of the theft. So the first opinion says he's got to pay Mishalem Kishas Agzela. He has to pay according to the value of the article that he stole at the time of the theft. So that's the unstated. We don't say who says that, so that we know means that's the view of the Chachamim. View of the Chachamim, and that's the majority view. And it's stated first. And then the Mishnah says, Rabbi Meir Omer, Rabbi Meir says, Bavodim Omer lo harei shelcha lefanecha. Rabbi Meir says that no, in regard to slaves, we say that the halacha is that you could return the slave to the owner and say, here's your slave. Even though it now is old and can't do a fraction of what it did at the time of the theft, but it is the same slave, and as such, according to Reb Meir, you could return the slave, and you won't, and that'll fulfill your obligation of returning the gezel. You don't have to pay according to the time of the theft what the Eved was worth when he was capable of doing a day's work. Okay? So now, that's the machlokes in the Mishnah. And Rav told us that the halacha follows Rebbe Meir, that you could return the Eved as is. And we said, what? How does Rav paskin like Rabbi Meir against the Chachamim? He's supposed to paskin like the Chachamim. The rule is that you paskin like the majority against the minority. So what's he doing paskining like Rabbi Meir? So in that, the Gemora answered, one answer that we answered, that in fact, well, the main answer that we answered is that when Rav says that the halacha is like Rabbi Meir, is because his teachers told him that the view that's expressed by Rabbi Meir here in the Mishnah is in fact the view of the Chachamim. It's the view of the majority. And so that really is the view that should be paskin, according to that majority view, which says that you could give the Eved back as is. And so that's the explanation how Rav is paskining like Rabbi Meir. Okay, so good so far?
Uh-huh.
So now our Gemora is saying that the Rav says the halacha is like Rabbi Meir, it's misleading. It's confusing. Shouldn't Rav say the halacha follows the Chachamim? Because in fact, he's paskening according to the Chachamim. Because he says that the view of Rav Meir is really the view of the Chachamim. So he should say the halacha is like the Chachamim. But the Gemora answers a very understandable answer. The Gemora answers because of the fact that we switched around the views in the Mishnah. According to that we switched around the views of Rabbi Meir for the Chachamim for Rabbi Meir. So that's why Rab says the halacha follows Reb Meir as it reads in the Mishnah, which is in fact the view of the Chachamim.
Uh-huh.
So like that, people will understand that the halacha follows what Reb Meir says in the Mishnah, which is that you could return such a slave back as is. Okay. Okay, now we have a Rashi for Phil to read. Ihachi, I believe, right? Oh, we didn't get there yet? We didn't get to Ihachi?
It doesn't make sense, this Ihachi, because I don't see where the Ihachi is. You know,
Where are we now? For surprise. 96b.
oh, I see where it is in the Gemara. I just don't see where it is in the Rashi. I don't see where, I see a hachi without an ihachi. I see a hachi kamar instead of an ihachi.
Okay, it's
If
got to
that's the
be,
same
let's read this Rashi. We'll figure out what it is that he's talking about.
It's the ihachi, the last line of the Rashi would say, if it is, the Mishnah Nami also, the Inin, we also need to teach Ifcha, the opposite. The halacha is karaban, maybe we need it.
Is the ihachi in the Rashi the same as the hachi
I don't know.
ka'amar?
I don't know.
No, it seems like Rashi has a different girsa than we have. our Gemora just says, hi, this that Rav says the halacha is like Rabbi Meir, halacha k'Rabbanan mi boile. He should have said the opposite. And Rashi has a girsa, if it is so, the masnisa nami ba'inen lemisna ifka, that we need to learn that in the Mishnah that we have to switch around the views of Rabbi Meir and the Chachamim. So if so, then halacha k'Rabbanan mi boile. So then if so, then when Rav said who's the halacha like, he should have said the halacha follows the Rabbanan, because just like we're switching around the views in the Mishnah for what it says in our Mishnah, so Rav should also have to follow suit and switch around accordingly and say that the halacha follows the Chachamim, according to that which we're saying that the Mishnah should be switched around based upon that. But I'm not sure. Maybe the Gemara. If it's so, according as you say, that the opinions in the Mishnah need to be switched around, so then halacha k'Rabbanan mi boile. So then Rab should have said the halacha is like the Chachamim.
When it says, according to you who interchange the positions of Reb Meir and the rabbis, the you is what? Anybody who does, or
According to Rav.
to you is Rav, right?
In other words, let's just try to work this out again. This seems our Gemara says, "Hi halacha Rabbi Meir." This that Rav says the halacha is like Rabbi Meir, halacha k'Rabbanan mi boile. Rav should have said the halacha follows the Rabbanan. What's the idea with that? Because if Rav is saying that his teachers taught him to switch around the opinions in the Mishnah, so if so, then he likewise, Rav, should have switched around. He should not have said the halacha is like Rabbi Meir. He should have he should have said the halacha is like the Chachamim. So what's the Gemara answer to that? That would seem to be the way Rashi's explaining the question. Right? Like the Gemara asked. The Gemara asked a question, the Gemara is giving an answer. Gemara's question is, halacha k'Rabbanan mi boile. Rav should have said the halacha follows the Rabbanan. That's what Rashi says in the last three words of this Rashi that we read over here. K'Rabbanan mi boile. halacha k'rabbanan miboile. The halacha should follow the rabbanan. That's what he should have said. So what's the Gemora's answer to that? Is that the Hachikamar, like this Rav was intending to say when he said the halacha follows Reb Meir. Lemai de abchisu betanisu. According to that you have switched around mistakenly the correct text of the Mishnah. So, and you have taught that the Mishnah is like the Mishnah that we see in our Gemora, right, in our text. So I'm bending, so to speak, to your mistaken rendition of the Mishnah, and therefore I say the halacha follows Rebbe Meir. But according to the way I learned the Mishnah, the halacha follows the Chachamim. Is that clear? We've got quite a mix-up over here in the Mishnah. See, what we have over here is we have, it would seem that that Rav is saying, right, that his teachers told him that this Mishnah is the text of the Mishnah. They said his teachers told him that the text of the Mishnah is incorrect, and the text should really read that what Rebbe Meir says is really what the Rabbanan say, and what the Rabbanan say is really what Rebbe Meir says. That's what Rav's teachers told him.
Mm-hmm. Without the Rabbanim, would Rabbi Meir have come to the same conclusion? And without the Rabbanim, without Rabbi Meir, would the Rabbanim come to the same conclusion?
Maybe ask your question again. I'm not following the question. What do you mean by without?
Rabbi Meir and the Rabbanim agree with each other, right?
The Rabbanan and Rebbe Meir do not agree with one another.
They don't agree with each other.
Everybody agrees that the Rabbanan and Rebbe Meir do not agree with one another.
Oh.
Everybody agrees to that. The question is, what does Rebbe in their dispute? What is the machlokes is, what does Rebbe Meir say and what did the Chachamim say? That is the dispute about what it says in this Mishnah. Everybody agrees that there is a dispute between Rebbe Meir and the Chachamim, and is that you can give the Eved back as is, and the other opinion says no, you got to pay according to the value that the Eved was when he was worth something, when he was a capable Eved. You have to pay that full amount. Everybody agrees that there's a machlokes about the matter, and that Rebbe Meir and the Chachamim disagree with one another, and Rebbe Meir holds one view and the Chachamim hold the other view. But the disputes, which in regard to the Mishnah is, who says what? Is it Rebbe Meir? Is he the one that says what, like it says in our Mishnah? According to our Mishnah that we have printed over here in our Gemora, it says that Rebbe Meir is the one who says you could give the Eved back. But according to the Chachamim, no, you have to pay Kashas Agzelo. You have to give the amount that the Eved was worth originally at the time of the theft. That's the way our Mishnah that we have, so to speak, the official version, so to speak, portrays the dispute. But Rav's teachers told him, and the Gemora is recording this. Rav's teachers told him that somehow, some way, the transmission of the Mishnah is mistaken, meaning that the Rebbe Meir, he's really the one who says that you have to give back according to Shas Zela, and the Rabbanan are the ones who say you could give the Eved back as is.
Right, okay.
And so this that the Gemora is asking on Rav, why did you not say, just like you switched around the opinions in the Mishnah, that's what your teachers told you, and you say that really the Rabbanan, they're the ones that say that you can give back the Eved as is. Why did you not also switch around in your statement and say, yes, the halacha follows the chachamim. The halacha follows the chachamim. And the Gemara says that no, Rav preferred Reb Meir because the so-called official version of the Mishnah, the so-called official transmission and tradition of the Mishnah says that Rebbe Meir is the one that says that you can give back the Eved as is. And so therefore Rab said, I'm going to say, to avoid confusion, I guess, he thought, to say that he'll just say the halacha follows Reb Meir, because that's the official rendition and tradition of the dispute between Rebbe Meir and the Chachamim, what it says in the Mishnah that we have written in our text. Okay.
Mhm.
And I think it was asked here in the shir by somebody, why didn't Rav, to avoid confusion, why didn't Rav just say the halacha is that you give back the Eved as is? Don't say any names. Just say what the correct halacha is. But I'm just thinking to say right now that is that could also cause confusion, because even though we know what the correct halacha is, but we don't know who it was that said it. So there'll be those that think that that's the Chachamim that said it, or those that think that that's Reb Meir that said it, and then we don't know who said what. But anyway, the Gemara continues from here. Okay, Phil, you want to read further now? Can we go further? Any more questions about this?
I'm going to figure where we're turning the page, actually.
Yay! A round of applause for page 96B.
Okay,
Wow.
Yeah.
97.
A doozy.
So we're in Sadik Zion now, are we?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
We're up to Umi Omar Rav Kimikarka dummy. And who says that Rav feels that a slave is considered like land?
We're saying at the end of the day, we're saying Rav said the halacha is like Reb Meir, which means the Reb Meir of the Mishnah that we have in front of us, the official version of the opinions. And over there, Reb Meir says that the halacha is that you could give back the Eved as is. Why? Because you can't steal an Eved just like you can't steal land. In other words, the Eved has a legal comparison to karka. That's what comes out according to what we're saying in Rav. So now the Gemora is questioning that. Is that so? That Rav holds that Abda Kamakarkari dummy? That an Eved has the same legal status in halacha, has halachas like karka? Okay, please continue, Phil.
Okay. The Amar Rav Daniel, Rav Katina, like Daniel, the Rav Katina. Omar Rasid and the name of Rav. Hatokef the Avdo Shalchavero, someone who grabs the slave of his friend, but also below makes him do work, would be putter. So he's putter for having to pay. And the Raj says putter is mila shalem, from paying lebal sechar, of paying the owner his wages.
Right. So if somebody takes somebody else's Eved, and he has the Eved do work for him. So according to this, Rav is saying that the one that did that, even though of course he wasn't allowed to do it without permission, but in regard to his obligation to pay for having done that, he's putter. He doesn't have to pay the owner of the Eved for the work that the Eved did for him. Okay, so now let's see. So why is that? Why does that show that Rav does not hold that Eved is like karka? Let's see how the Gemora develops the question.
The reshut Gemara it's when it's true in the domain of the owner. Kai, that's what we're going on. Here.
Start from Isal Kadaita.
I skipped a line. I'm sorry about that. The Isal Kadaita of the Kamakarka. I mean, if you would think that a slave is considered like land, the Reshut Demari. Why should he be exempt from paying? Why should he be put from that paying in the reshut of the owner?
Right? Because
he's reshut to the master. He's still in the master's reshut. If it's like land, he hasn't transferred. He's considered like he's still in the master's reshut. So if he's in the master's reshut, he should have to pay him. It still belongs to the master. You haven't turned it over. So why should he be pata?
And that's the way we would look at it in regard to karka as well. Karka cannot be karka can't be stolen, and he would have to pay for the if he did something, used the karka, I guess, got some usage out of the karka, he'd have to pay for it, even if he, so to speak, stole it away. So the Eved should be the same din. If Rav in fact holds that Eved is compared to karka, he should have to pay, because Berishusi Demari Koi. Because just like the land, the Eved remains in the domain of the original owner. He cannot be stole. I guess the point is that the Gemora thought that the reason that he would be exempt is because somehow the Gemora thinks that if you don't have to pay, it must mean that when you stole the Eved and took the Eved to work for you, so it like the Eved is no longer, because it was taken away from the owner, he's like no longer in the reshus of the owner. So you did something with the Eved while the Eved was no longer in the reshus of the owner, so you wouldn't have to pay the owner for it. But that's not consistent with the Eved being comparable to karka. Karka always stays in the reshus of the owner, even if somebody else comes along and, so to speak, steals the karka away. The possession of the karka is stolen away. Somebody else grabs possession of the karka. That doesn't mean that they now are the ones that the karka is in their possession, and they don't have to pay the original owner, because he's not the one that's the owner anymore. Okay, so let's see how the Gemara answers this. Hakam b'mayas kinan. Want to go back to Roy?
In fact, I'll tell you that the Rav holds that slaves cannot be stolen. And now, what are we dealing with here? In the case of Rav's ruling, cited by Rav Daniel Bar Kav Katina, Shalo Bishes Malacha, where one seized and worked with the slave, not at the time of his master's work. Thus, the slave's master did not suffer any loss on account of the seizure, and one who seized and worked with the slave is therefore not liable to pay for benefiting the slave's work. So he did the work with the slave without impinging on the master's use of the slave. Ki ha dashalach le Rabbi Abba Lamari Bar Ma. This, as the case of that message which Rav Abba sent to Mari Bar Ma. The message is Bay Ma'ina May Rav Huna. Inquire of Rav Huna. Hadar B'Chatzea Chavera Shalel Medeta, whether one who dwells in the courtyard of his fellow without the owner's knowledge, Sorich has to has to pay him rent, or Ein Sorich Lahalos Lo Sachar, or does not have to pay him rent. V'shalahu le, and they sent it back to him a reply. Einot Sorich Lahalos Lo Sachar. He does not have to pay him rent. But the Gemara rejects the comparison. Do I go on, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's take a look at the Rashi over here.
It's not too late. We'll have this tomorrow.
Oh, it's too late. Okay.
Okay.
All the best, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day, a good week. Bezrat Hashem, B'suras Tovos.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Very well. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Phil. Bye, Roy.
Bye.
Bye, Alan.
Bye.